Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by to check out the video. So today we are going to try something that I've been wanting to do for a while. My interior doors, all my interior doors in my house are just the old slab, what's called slab doors by some people. They're just flat panel, very plain, very ordinary. My house was built in 1979, so it was a common type of door that was used. There's nothing decorative about them at all. I want to try and change that. So I've ordered something that is intended to add some architectural interest to the door by applying some molding, just to give it a little bit more decorative type of look, like you see with most doors these days. So we're going to unbox and see what's in the package that I ordered. And then we're going to go actually install these on the door, and I'm going to let you follow along. So let's get started. Okay, so we're obviously out here in my garage workshop. I have the box that I ordered here. This was an Amazon purchase. I am not sponsored by whoever it is that makes this. In fact, I've actually forgotten. But I did include a link in the description, so just in case when this is all said and done, you're interested in doing the same thing to some of your interior doors, you at least have the option of clicking on that link in my description, and it'll take you to this specific product if this is of interest to you. So let's unbox this. And I've only gotten as far as just opening up the end here. And interestingly enough, they're calling this wall molding trim. I suppose you could use this on a wall. There's no reason why you couldn't, but the product listing only shows using it on a door, so I thought that was interesting. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so we have our product here. I will say it is well packaged. Holy cow. I've never seen packaging quite like that. This material is made from polystyrene, so it's like super lightweight. And you can see what that looks like. It's all individually wrapped. It is the kind that applies with just an adhesive, so there is a strip that you peel off, and then you can attach it, and it just sticks on. So there are let's see how many pieces we have here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 pieces. Meanwhile, I'm going to pop a picture up right now, and you can see what a door should look like once this is installed. And this is just a picture off the product listing site itself. So what I was expecting to pull out of the box was a set of 8 of these, and all of them with 45s, but I only have 6 that are cut with 45s, so I'm not really sure what I have received, if I've even received the correct thing. Okay, mystery solved. I figured out what this is. So as you can see from the picture, and I'll put it up again, one of the panel outlines is significantly taller than the other. And so these pieces that are only mitered on one end, these are intended to be stacked together. So that actually, these two blunt ends, or just squared off ends, will end up just being put together like so on the door. And that's going to form the larger rectangle on the door. And then there will be, of course, pieces that come across each end. So that's what was confusing me, but I figured that out. So everything that we need is here, and I think maybe what we'll do is just go inside, and we'll get started with this. I'll just gather up my tools, and let's go do it. Okay, so we're in a room here in my house. This is the door. It goes to an ensuite bath. And this is the door that I want to try this on. Now, I only have one set of these because this is a little bit of an experiment for me. I've been torn on maybe just getting new doors, just a new style of door. I've got like 5 of them in the house, so it's not a huge project to replace 5 doors. But there is a little bit involved in doing that, and of course the cost of the doors. This solution, if it works for me, would ultimately be about $60 a door based on the price of this product, which is $30 to be able to do, or $29 and almost 30 bucks to do one side. So that's the door we're going to do, and I've also laid the pieces out on the floor here just to kind of look at them and get a sense of how they are going to go on the door, and I'll show you that now as well. So I've taken all the sections and I've laid them out on my floor here in the room. I did discover one issue. Out of the 4 sections that form this side and this side, one of them is about an inch longer than the other 3. Go figure. Easy enough to fix. I'm just going to take one of them and I'm just going to make sure I've measured it correctly, and I'm just going to cut an inch right off the end there, and I think we'll be good to go. But not thrilled about that, but nonetheless easy enough to fix. So that's the arrangement we're going to use on the door. So I guess I need to go get that one piece trimmed down to the length that it's supposed to be, and then we'll get started with measuring on our door to determine exactly where we're going to put these, because we're going to have to use a level and draw some lines and things like that. So let me go cut this piece and then we'll get started installing. All right, so we're back here on the workbench, and I have one piece that is correct length, and then there's the one that is too long. So I have them even on the bottom here. And as you can see here, this one is maybe not quite an inch too long, but it's at least maybe 5/8 of an inch too long. So what I'm going to do is take the plastic wrapping off of these, put them together, make some measurements, and we'll actually, the one that's too long, we'll trim it on this end. So it's just a straight cut across, and being that it's polystyrene, I think I should be able to score it with a razor knife, and which will make for a nice clean cut. So let's get started with that. I think the first thing we need to do is get rid of this plastic wrapping. Okay, now these two should be the correct length, should equal one another, and they do. So there we go. Now we can go back in and get started with what we intended to do in the first place, and let's get these up on the door. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, using my tape measure, I'm just going to measure down 3 inches using a pencil. I'm going to make a mark, and I only need to make one. Let's get our top line drawn, and again we're going to do this with pencil. Okay, so we have our top pencil line made, and we'll do the side one here. Okay. I think we're good there. All right. Okay, here goes nothing. So we'll peel that piece off. And I know that we don't have A lot of second chances here, so I'm going to move you and see if I can get you a little bit closer. Okay. So I'm just going to it looks pretty good. We're going to put our first vertical piece here on the right side. And remember, these come in 2 sections. So I will extend our guideline down here in a moment. So again, one end of this is going to be square. Do the exact same thing here. We'll pull our tape off. Going to get our miter in there. Okay, that's got our second piece in. Okay. Get our next piece lined up here, and that's just going to butt right up against that one. Yep, we're good. Okay. Left side, I'm going to work right off the piece we have in place there. Just going to go right on like that. Now I'm going to do this very gently. Okay, so I made some adjustments there. One thing that I did determine, they do stick really well, but you do have a little bit of latitude. I actually had to unstick this top one, and that worked pretty well. And it seems to be very much intact at this point. So that's got our top piece done, which looks pretty decent actually. I'm going to come back here when we're all said and done with both sections and fill in where the joints are. And I think I'll be able to do that maybe with a little bit of acrylic caulking. We'll see. I have some different ideas. I'll determine once we get to that point which approach that I take. So let's go ahead and do the bottom one. And it's going to be pretty much the same process that we go through for the bottom, just like the top. Actually, it's going to be a little bit easier because the vertical pieces, it's just one piece. So we'll start again by just doing some measurements, and we'll get the top rail in first, and then we'll do one side, and then I think we'll be good. All right, so there we go. We got the both sections in. And I am pretty darn pleased with that. So if I can back up, and that is not a bad look at all. All I have to do, you can see the little gap there. Have the same thing on the other side. I just couldn't get them tight enough together to disappear. So I'm going to see what I can find. I think I have an idea what I want to use to fill that in. So let me go get that and come back in and see how that works. All right, so I think what I've decided I want to try to use is this. It's just some all-purpose joint compound. It's such minute little cracks that I need to fill that I think that this joint compound will do a perfectly good job. So I'm going to, just using my finger, I'm going to apply that to those two joints. Also at the corners, and then kind of wipe that down to clean it up a bit, and we'll see how it looks. And the other thing I should mention too, these pieces, they come in white, but obviously they're paintable. And I'm going to end up painting these doors anyway. They need to be repainted as it is. So, and with this new trim going up on the door, I want to make sure that the trim matches the door. It's slightly different, hard to tell from the video, but I will be repainting them. So let's try the joint compound and see how that works. Okay, as I mentioned, this is a doorway going into an ensuite bath. So I just opened the door up and turned the light on in the bathroom just to provide a little more light. See what that looks like? Also a little bit different angle. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with this. So other than the one little glitch with having to trim the one piece a bit because it was just cut to the wrong size, I guess, at the factory, this went together really well. It was a pretty straightforward, fairly easy. You do have to do some measurement. You need a level so you can draw some straight lines and that kind of thing. And where the pieces join together, you need to be prepared to use a little bit of filler. In my case, I just used some joint compound. They were tiny little connections or gaps, so the joint compound worked really well, and so now I can I think I'm actually going to invest in this. So this is like I said earlier, this would be about $60 per door for the materials here that I bought. And what you see, that's doing both sides of the door, obviously. That's quite a bit cheaper. I would say more than well in excess of half the price of having to get a new door. And I'm talking like doing it yourself, getting a new door and installing it. If you had to have new doors installed, boy, there's just no comparison. This would be a great way to upgrade your doors on the inside of your house if they're the plain slab type doors, just to give them a little bit more interest in architectural style. So liking that a lot. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful or inspiring in some way. If it was, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot, and it costs absolutely nothing. And with that, everybody have a great day, a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again on the next video.